back and watch all sorts of anime movies and recap them for you. I'm James, and this here's Chad.
Hey!
So yeah, this is going to be a regular thing. Every other Monday, we're going to review an anime film, recap it for you. You know, we're like the movie boys, but in Japanese and for anime.
And old anime.
Yeah, we're the Eiga Shonen.
I don't know what that means.
Great. So the first one we're doing today is Naruto, the movie, Ninja Clash in the Land of Snow. Terrible name.
Exciting, though.
Right. I mean, so they live in the Land of Fire, right?
Yeah.
And now we're going to the Land of Snow.
I mean, it sounds like Pokemon rules would have an advantage against all ninja in the Land of Snow.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
So this movie came out in 2005, a whole 11 years ago, and I'm pretty sure I watched it at your house when we were high school students.
That sounds very likely.
So what did you have fond memories of this movie, or? I mean, have you seen a lot of the Naruto movies?
I've seen a handful of them. There's been like 30. It seems like they make one or two a year every year, and this was obviously the first one. I mean, there were a couple key things that I remembered from it. I can't say I thought back on it fondly. It just kind of seems like I remember it being a long episode of Naruto.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with these like shonen series movies is that they're like fairly disposable. They almost never have any callbacks to the main plot, and they're never spoken of again, like in the main story. It's got to be in the moment. It's kind of a cultural event for anime, like, oh yeah, the new Naruto movie, the new One Piece movie, you know.
Right. Especially if this was the first one, so it kind of had an extra like, oh, they're making movies of this.
So the movie opens with a movie. So this is a movie about ninjas, and it starts with the ninjas watching a movie about ninjas.
Which blew my mind because I didn't know they had like any kind of technology in this world.
Yeah, they're like
first time we've seen anything like this, and they're starting the movie with it.
It's very like steampunk ninja society. I thought they were pre-industrial, but then in the first season of Naruto, you did see people like with wireless headsets and stuff.
Oh, that's true. You think they'd use those more often?
I mean, when you've got like telepathy and you can just like summon a dog person to send a message for you, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if dog travel is more efficient than wireless communication, but yeah, sure.
But the movie theater looks fairly modern, real-world movie theater, I guess. The movie they're watching is Gale Princess, which is about a team of ninjas, and the leader is Gale Princess, and she fights using rainbow chakra. And Naruto's really into it. He's like, oh, this is the greatest movie I ever saw. The action's incredible. I had two problems with that. Like, first of all, Naruto has seen and done more impressive things than what we saw in Gale Princess, right?
Right.
And, you know, I assume if you're a soldier, you don't like to watch movies about war, right? If you're a ninja, do you really want to watch movies about ninja? Like,
right, about people who don't really have to struggle by doing it?
Fighting and killing each other the way that, like, your friends did? Like... They're watching the movie hanging from the ceiling, which makes you think that they snuck in, but then when the usher comes to kick them out, they're like, no, we actually have tickets. We were just on the ceiling for funsies.
Brilliant punchline.
So they get kicked out, or the movie ends. Doesn't matter. And they're sitting outside the movie theater waiting for Kakashi, saying like, oh yeah, it was actually part of our mission to watch this movie. Where's Kakashi? And Naruto's geeking out. He's like, oh, the main character's so hot. She's such a good actress.
There's a couple of scenes. There's a couple of scenes in this movie, and this is one of them, where they really try to develop in like a few moments the characters just in case there's anybody who's at the movie and hasn't seen the show. And I feel like this like 2-3 minutes is what that was, because in it we discover Sakura's anger issues, her distaste for Naruto. We discover Sasuke's aloofness and Sakura's love for Sasuke. And also Kakashi's late.
And, like, Sakura is actually a little bit, like, the most annoying in this scene, because she's also geeking out about one of the male leads, you know, rightfully so. But then she takes a moment to be like, oh, but you're actually the real best, Sasuke. I actually, I love that guy, but I love you more. And Sasuke's like, whatever.
I'm too cool for that.
So just as they're talking about the female lead of the movie, oh my god! She leaps over the fence they're standing in front of on top of a horse and rides by, and it's Gale Princess. What the heck?
What are the odds?
So she's being chased by, like, people in Full Metal Alchemist armor, who are also on horseback. So Team 7 chases after them, and Sasuke and Sakura capture the armored goons, and Gale Princess is able to escape. But just then, Kakashi shows up, and it turns out it's a big misunderstanding. It's actually those armored goons were trying to protect Gale Princess. Sasuke and Sakura and Naruto were too hasty.
Two things.
Mm-hmm.
First, trying to protect her. At one point during that chase, Sakura transformed into the actress, and they all dogpiled her.
Yeah, right. That's not safe.
That's not safe at all, especially when they're in armor with weapons. Second thing, did Kakashi know she was going to try to escape over that particular fence?
Which,
because it's either an amazing coincidence or an amazing coincidence.
well, it is quite an amazing coincidence. So Gale Princess gets away, and she's sort of chilling by herself by this stream, reflecting on her solitude, I guess, when Naruto pops up to be like, "Hey, we saved you. You're so cool, by the way. Can I have your autograph?" And she's not into that, so she gets back on her horse and is riding away. But, Naruto won't leave her alone. Her horse is going full speed, and it's about to crash into some kids, so they all kind of wipe out, which makes me feel bad for the horse. And the little kids are also dogging her for an autograph, and that's when we find out that Princess Gale, kind of a bitch, she's like, "I'm not going to sign your autograph. You guys are just going to, forget about them and leave them in your sock drawer, and it's just going to be a whole meaningless thing anyway."
Right, which not wrong.
But you don't have to do that to little kids.
Right, of course not, yeah.
So her real name is Yukie, and she's a super famous actor, but she's really hurting her PR right now because, a lot of people are watching this interaction. They're like, "Oh man, fame's really gone to her head. She's really turned into a, prima donna." Okay, so back at the movie studio, the director of the film is explaining to Sakura, Sasuke, and Kakashi that they have been hired to protect Yukie during the filming of the sequel to Gale Princess. They're going to be heading to the Land of Snow to film the last scene because they want to get a shot of a super rare rainbow that only happens in the Land of Snow during the springtime. Kakashi's apparently been to the Land of Snow, and he says this is all bullshit and there is no spring in the Land of Snow.
Right. Begs the question, how did they hear about it? Why are people saying these things?
But anyway, stow that information. It's not important for a while.
No.
We cut to Yukie trying to, walk out of the city and not get spotted, but Naruto's, still stalking her. He doesn't even know the mission. He's just doing this for his own entertainment.
Right. He doesn't know that they're supposed to be watching her. He's literally just stalking this poor woman.
So he asks her again for an autograph. She reluctantly agrees to give it to him, and as she's signing it, he kind of eyes that she has some kind of interesting necklace around her neck. But she interprets that as him, checking out her neckline, trying to get a shot of her boobies, right?
Mm.
So she maces him with pepper spray in the face.
From her earring.
Yeah, as you do. He falls over into a pile of wood, which then knocks down a relief, which buries him in a pile of wood. Seemingly dead. Yukie is not bothered. She walks off. The next shot we get is her getting totally trashed at a bar, and Naruto just, won't give up, shows up to harass her again.
Which is a crime at this point.
Yeah, she should just talk to the local police. Naruto's being a real creeper. She's totally wasted. She says acting sucks. She complains about her shitty life. When her agent and Sakura arrive, and they basically beg her to finish the movie, they just need to get these last couple shots, but she's resisting. She doesn't want to do it. As a way of motivation, Kakashi attacks her with his Sharingan and knocks her out.
Right. The thing that he uses against the biggest of bad guys, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna knock out this poor drunk woman.
Yeah, that was fucked up. You're like, come on, Kakashi. You could have just let them try to convince her for 10 minutes more before you
Right.
bust out your A-level attack on her.
And she had horrible nightmares of her family being slaughtered.
Right, so assumably, I guess Kakashi then like throws her over his shoulder and walks away. We don't know how that resolves itself.
Cut to
There's a bunch of bad guys, and they're in some non-disclosed location, and they're getting a report that, it turns out that she has on her the Hex Crystal, and, they find out she's heading to the Land of Snow, and they're like, oh, and she's coming with Kakashi, who's also something we know about. So we have the bad guys here, they're after her necklace, and they have some background with Kakashi. Heading straight along, we see a flashback from Yuki's childhood where her father is showing her some kind of mirror device that he's built, and he's like, if you look in these mirrors, you'll see the future. And we also get some flashes of something violent and burning, and then she wakes up in a panic, and it turns out she's on a boat because the crew of the movie have completely, like, shanghaied her and forced her to be in the movie. Can she not just quit?
she's been stalked and now she's been kidnapped.
And not to mention attacked with, like, insane genjutsu.
Right.
Which Kakashi uses to break the minds of Jonin ninjas.
Right.
So on board the ship, Kakashi reveals to Team 7 that this is an A-rank, super important mission. Which, if all it is just protecting an actress on her movie shoot, that doesn't require an A rank. And if there's something more to it, maybe you should reveal that information to the other team members so they know to take it seriously.
Right. And he clearly knows more than he's letting on. I don't know why there'd be any value to him not sharing the information, but I guess to make the plot more interesting for us.
Right. Well, maybe he just wants to make it more thematically interesting for Naruto, too. He's like, I don't want to tell Naruto everything right off the bat. I want him to enjoy this adventure and be surprised.
Right, yeah. And to hell with the other two.
So they start filming a scene on the deck of the ship. It's a sad death scene. Meanwhile, Team 7 are, like, talking on set. They're, like, right next to where they're shooting, and they're, like, talking loudly about how great of an actor Yuki is. If I was the director, I would have thrown them off the set. I'd be like, get out of here. There's no talk. Quiet on set.
I thought that was weird, too. We should talk about the production company as this goes along, because they are not a good production company at all.
Yeah, so you got the director, who's, like, stereotypical, like, old man director, very serious.
He's nothing but a vision. It's always like the vision of the next scene or the next movie or the next location.
And then you've got the audio crew and the camera crew, and they're just kind of they're taking this situation like really lightly. They're just having a great time.
And then there's that one guy who's the opposite of that. He's just worried about everything. He seems like he's always shocked and he's always freaking out about something.
But they're pretty disposable characters. If we learned their names, I quickly forgot them all.
Right. Director and crew are their names.
Right, and Yuki's manager is kind of an important character.
Yeah.
So it's a sad death scene, and it calls for the main character to cry over the death of her comrade. But Yuki, despite being an amazing actor, can't cry on command, so she needs eye drops to cry, which I feel like isn't that abnormal. Not everyone can just cry at any given moment.
Your ability to act should not affect your ability to control your tear ducts.
Like, Chad, can you just cry on command? If someone was like, hey, I'll give you $20 to cry, could you do it?
Well, yeah, but...
You could.
I can fake cry, yes.
Oh, I couldn't.
It's gotten me out of many a jam.
Okay, so the ship is kind of stopped by a giant iceberg in its path, which you'd think would be a bad thing, but the director is psyched. He's like, perfect, this is where we'll film the shots for this big battle we're going to have.
Fate is begging us to film the scene here.
Is that what he said in English?
Yeah.
Okay. So
something to that effect, yeah.
So they're filming a scene of dialogue between Princess Gale and the villain of the movie when 3 Land of Snow shinobi attack them. And they apparently recognize Kakashi, and Kakashi recognizes them. And they say, like, oh, you gonna run away this time, Kakashi, you bitch? So apparently they defeated him in the past.
So the villains of the movie interrupt the villain of the movie.
Right. Oh, it's so meta. So let's describe these 3 Land of Snow shinobi. There's one fat guy with the robotic arm, and he fights on a snowboard.
Yes, he is the snowboard ninja.
There's a pink-haired girl ninja who uses, like, ice shuriken and, like, ice-based physical attacks, if that makes any sense. Like, she bashes you and smashes you with ice. And then the leader of this trio, he makes, like, ice sculptures of monsters and animals, and they attack you.
Nadare Roga is his name.
Wow. Great work. I never would have remembered his name. Yeah, this is an okay fight scene. The director actually tells the crew to keep filming while Team 7 fights the Land of Snow shinobi.
Right, because you know how when you go to movies and inexplicably there are other people fighting the bad guys in the middle of the movie that have nothing to do with the plot of the movie? That's what he was going for.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're watching a movie about a boxer, and then an actual boxing match just breaks out in the middle of the scene. And
right, exactly. But it's filmed entirely from one camera sitting on the sidelines, and you can't hear anything they're saying.
Yeah, you just keep rolling. That's how you make good cinema.
That's right.
So Team 7's not holding out so great, even though it's 4-on-3. They're losing. Yukie starts to have, like, PTSD flashbacks, then starts freaking out. She screams that she's never going to return to the Land of Snow, and she passes out again. And at this point, her manager's like, come on, princess, you gotta get up, princess, we gotta go, which is weird, because doesn't she just play a princess? So Team 7 can't beat these Land of Snow shinobi, but they are able to help Yukie and the other film crew to successfully escape unharmed.
Right. Well, they Kakashi and Nadare, they both summon big whales that destroy the iceberg.
Yeah, which you think would kind of be bad for the snow ninja, but it's like they kind of have wingsuits. Like the girl uses a wingsuit to fly, so everything's fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they can just fly.
So this was an okay fight scene. It was mostly just to showcase the Land of Snow shinobi's powers, which aren't really that impressive. It's exactly what you'd think.
We should probably give a tiny bit of backstory on Naruto, because it's a little disappointing the way that they do it in this movie, but it's worth bringing up anyway. So those of you who don't know, the 3 of you who don't know, Naruto, as a boy, was infused with the chakra from this giant chakra demon. And when he gets really angry or when he gets really, like, injured, the chakra will come out and it'll make him super powerful. And they hint at it for, like, half a second in this scene, and it's one of only 2 times that happens. And the payout is never really good. It just seems like they threw it in there because they had to recognize that part of him. And every time they did it, it felt so shoehorned and awkward to me.
Did that happen in this fight? If Naruto, if there was any reference to the nine-tailed fox in that fight scene, I completely blanked over.
Yeah, and you might as well have. Like, it was when he was grappling with the robot arm snowboard ninja. His, like, stomach started to glow red, and then the ninja was like, this chakra, and then that was it. Like, nothing happened. It's like, where's the payoff? Like,
yeah, Chekhov's Nine-Tails demon. It's coming. It's coming. Alright, so back aboard the ship, Kakashi is standing vigil over a sleeping Yukie, and he's examining her hex crystal, and he says to himself, it's been 10 years since that day. Very ham-fisted foreshadowing. Meanwhile, the ship has arrived at the Land of Snow. And Yukie's manager has a big revelation for the main characters. He reveals that he's actually the leader of a resistance in the Land of Snow. That the Land of Snow was once ruled by Yukie's father, who was overthrown by his jealous brother, who slaughtered the royal family 10 years ago, and Yukie was forced to flee the Land of Snow, rescued by a young Kakashi. This whole movie is just a front to secretly sneak Yukie back in the Land of Snow so that she can reclaim her rightful place as the queen of the Land of Snow.
Now, did Sandayu remember Kakashi? Sandayu is the manager's name.
Okay.
Did he remember Kakashi and that's why he hired him, or was that just another coincidence? Because they never express any understanding to each other.
I thought Kakashi was hired by the director who's not involved in this conspiracy.
Oh, so
this is
what
just
are the odds?
An amazing coincidence.
There's only 3 ninja in the world, James. So
their entire conceit to secretly get her into the country under the guise of a film shoot is completely failed. We know that before they even left the Land of Fire, the bad guys already had tabs on them and the crystal, so it was a waste of everyone's time.
Right.
And the financial backers of this movie, they're never going to get that money back.
In the English dub, they did make it sound more like the plan wasn't to try to sneak in the princess into the snow country, so much as it was they led you to believe that Yukie didn't remember that she was a princess, and that Sandayu was trying to kind of sneak her in despite her not knowing that she was the princess. And going back was going to bring back her memories and then lead a rebellion or something. It was all very confusing.
What an insane plan. All right, so to get this girl back to her home country, I'll have her become the world's greatest actress. And then I'll make it so that the sequel to her smash hit movie is set in the Land of Snow, which we could just film on a soundstage covered in snow. But no, I'll convince the director we have to be on location to see a mythical rainbow that happens only in the spring.
Or you know what would have been better? Instead of hiring Kakashi and Team 7 to protect her, hire a bunch of Genjutsu ninja to make everything look all magic. And snowy and rainbow chakra-y.
I don't know how much it costs to get a Land of Fire ninja. But if it were me, I would just hire Zabuza to kill the current king of the Land of Snow, and then I would seat Yukie upon the throne. Anywho, Yukie walks in on this meeting and reveals that she has now remembered everything, and she says she refuses to take her rightful place, that they don't stand any chance of defeating the new king of the Land of Snow, her uncle Lord Doto, and she declares that her heart is dead, and on the day that the royal family was murdered, all her tears dried up.
So sad.
And the director thinks that this is all great, and he's gonna film all this. He's like, yeah, let's film this this revolution.
You have to wonder how this director made any successful movie franchise.
Well, he's being really avant-garde.
Yeah, that's true.
Kakashi declares that together they will overthrow Lord Dodo, and they all decide to head out to finish the movie / recapture the country.
/ finish the movie.
So this is something we were talking about the movie theater before. They're going through the Land of Snow now in wooden steampunk Humvees.
Yeah. I think that don't they hover?
Were they hovering? I thought they were on wheels.
Were they on wheels? It looked like they were hovering to me.
I mean, for all we know, it was Flintstone-powered foot travel.
It could have been.
But they're heading to film the next scene, and Yukie's manager, who is actually the resistance leader, is saying, on the way we're going to meet up with the rest of the Land of Snow resistance army. And they stop to take a break, and we get a great shot of Naruto and the other crew members just pissing in the snow.
That did not make it into the English dub.
No? What?
No.
Okay.
It's completely out.
They didn't show the characters dick in hand, but they showed them you hear the zippering sound effect, and then they're all kind of relieved. No?
There was no allusion to any urination.
Wow. Okay. So. Thanks, Funimation, ruining the movie. So they get to the spot where they want to film the next scene, but turns out Yukie ran away again.
Oh no.
And this time she just like ran away into the woods. I don't know what her plan is here.
To die? Like you're on an island, clearly.
But she ran away. She's running through the snow, and as you would expect, after running aimlessly, she just passes out in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the third time she's passed out, if you count the time that Kakashi attacked her with the Sharingan. Passes out a lot, is what I'm getting at. So we see more of her childhood flashback, and her father saying that these mirrors that she's kind of looking at herself, and he's like, I'm going to show you a beautiful spring. And just then Naruto has found her, like passed out in the snow, wakes her up, and is carrying her on her back through this cavern back to where the film crew is. And they kind of share a moment. You know, he's like, I don't give up. That's my way as a ninja. You give up too easily. I'm going to inspire you.
I'm going to keep looking for you no matter where you run or where you hide. I'm not going to, yeah.
Yeah, it's very romantic between this adult woman and this 13-year-old boy.
Right.
So just
carrying her on his back.
Yeah, which you think, like, is she that tired? How far did she run? How strong is Naruto?
Yeah, right? Especially what happens next.
So, just then, tracks suddenly emerge from beneath the feet of the film crew, and beneath Naruto's feet as he's carrying Yukie. And it turns out there's chakra running through the tracks, which unfreezes the snow, which allows for a giant steampunk wooden train to start barreling after Naruto and the princess. And the princess is like, just leave me, we're fucked. And Naruto's like, no, I'll never give up. And he outruns a train with an adult woman on his back, just in time to get out of the cavern and dodge out of the way.
Yeah, everything sounds completely reasonable. Continue.
So, at this point, we meet the villain of the film. Lord Doto is on the train, and he's announcing his sovereignty over the land of snow and demanding that Yukie be turned over to him. And just then, the Land of Snow Resistance Army, headed by Yukie's manager, arrives, and they have a standoff, you know, declaring their intent to overthrow Lord Doto. And
at this point, we're all thinking, well, this is going to be a real short movie because they're obviously going to be successful.
Yeah, everyone's thinking that. The director of the film is like, this is great. Keep filming, you guys. And they've hidden somewhere that they're filming it. Panels open up on Lord Doto's train, revealing giant shuriken-launching machine guns hidden within the train, which Lord Doto uses to completely massacre the resistance army, killing every last one of them.
It's actually quite bloody.
And I'm thinking, is this what you wanted for your movie, Mr. Director? This is what you wanted to see? You know? Real people die in your movie?
He's gonna be rich. And with all those people dying, it's not like he can fix it in post. All those characters in his movie never introduced, no story or anything. They just show up, run into a train, and die. So this movie's gonna have a pretty big plot hole.
Yeah, and also, you know, this isn't meant to be a snuff film.
Right.
Shouldn't show actual people actually being massacred.
Right.
Not the fact that it makes no narrative sense with the Princess Gale movie you're making. So, Team 7's still totally on top of things. Just now decides to step in and attack the train, and they cause a little avalanche, which almost looks like it's going to knock over the train, but Lord Doto and the train are able to escape in time.
Right.
You'd think
they lose their machine gun cars. It's just like the front car gets away.
You'd think if they were gonna do something, they could have done it before the massacre. I mean, now that everyone's dead, you know, defeating the train is kind of an empty gesture, but...
Right.
Yukie's manager is, like, gravely wounded, and right before he succumbs, he has this kind of monologue to Yukie. He's like, you know, we were all inspired to hold out this long because we knew you were out there, and that one day you could return to the throne and give the land of snow back to the people. And he's like, so don't cry now that I'm dead, you know. It's not your fault. This was the best thing that could have happened, so don't cry. And then he dies. And then she's kind of like, well, I can't cry because I don't have my eye drops, Dick. Being super callous about it. So at this point, voice of reason, Yuki is like, so this has all been a disaster, and we should just leave and go home. At which point Naruto's like, well, this is your home, right? Which is a pretty snappy comeback.
At which point she should respond with, no, this is where I was born. I left, and now my home is somewhere else.
Yeah, the Hollywood in the hidden mist.
Right.
Wherever they make movies in the ninja world. So before they can argue that point, she is kidnapped by a blimp, ninja blimp, steampunk ninja blimp.
The blimp, if you look closely, is actually the train.
Really?
So they team rocketed their train and they pulled a lever or something, and the blimp appeared on top of the train.
Right, and then they executed a blimp kidnapping of a princess, an idea they got from Mario.
Yes.
So everyone is, completely shocked by this, and only Naruto is able to, latch onto a rope and get onto the train blimp.
Yeah, not Kakashi, the trained ninja.
No, Naruto, the lovable goofball, is the only one able to respond in time.
And it's kind of the theme throughout this entire movie is Naruto is the only one that takes initiative to do anything.
Yeah, the other characters are just sitting back, watching the plot happen.
Right. It's like, oh, this is Naruto's movie. We'll let him take the spotlight.
So aboard the train blimp, Lord Dodo explains his evil master plan. Apparently the Hex Crystal, which is the necklace Yukie wears around her neck, is the key to the vault which holds the treasures of the Land of Snow hidden within the Rainbow Glacier.
Right. And he wants to use the treasure to militarize the country so they can become a ninja power in the world.
If I were him, I would have just hired Zabuza to kill her and steal the necklace.
It seems like hire Zabuza is the solution to a lot of your problems.
So Naruto, completely giving up any surprise element he had, jumps out and confronts Lord Dodo, but him and all his shadow clones are basically instantly caught. They kind of notice that he has unusually high levels of chakra and decide to test a new chakra-absorbing device on him. It's kind of like this contraption which is secured around his chest, and anytime he tries to activate his chakra, it, causes him incredible amounts of pain, which causes him to pass out on the spot.
We should also mention that they're wearing a special kind of armor that kind of does the opposite of that, where it enhances their own chakra and also kind of acts like a chakra barrier. So if you try to use any kind of ninjutsu against them, it kind of has a repelling effect. They don't really touch on it too much, but you get the vibe that the snow village or the snow country is very much like a tinkering kind of country where they have a lot of weird little steampunky gadgets.
Yeah, I mean, and it's cool that they don't just spell that out in time. They just kind of make it clear from the devices they use, which is all right.
Like the train blimp.
Yukie hands over the Hex Crystal, but apparently Kakashi has switched it for a fake one, which causes Lord Dodo to fly into a rage when the other snow shinobi remind him that now they have the princess, surely Kakashi will come to try to rescue her.
I didn't think of this at the time, but it's a good thing that Kakashi did switch it, not because of the plot or anything, but because we saw him standing in her room when he did switch it, and if he didn't do something, he just creeped in on her while she was asleep in the middle of the night.
Yeah, so luckily he's not a complete pervert, and there was a point to that.
Right.
Back at the Lord Dodo's castle, the bad guy's home base, Naruto has been thrown inside an ice jail, and he's unable to use his chakra to escape, but luckily he has a small file which is hidden away in his shoe, so he retrieves that just as Yukie is led into an adjacent cell.
Right, and I'm not going to talk about right now the confusing physics that are chakra in the Naruto universe, because I think we could do an entire podcast on just that one topic, but I have a lot of issues with that whole situation.
So they kind of trade backstories. She says that her father had promised to show her beautiful spring, but she says, spring never comes to the snow country. We're not going to have a happy ending, and that's why they should all give up. Naruto comes back with his tragic backstory about how everyone always expects him to give up and how no one expects anything great from him, but he kind of draws the opposite conclusion from that, deciding that they should never give up and that he's going to show her a happy ending.
If you know what I mean.
But that's what he says in the sub. He's like, I'm going to give you a happy ending. So under great pain from the chakra-absorbing device, Naruto is able to break free from the binds that are holding him in the cell just before passing out from the pain.
Or so we think.
At that very moment, Team 7 has come to rescue them, and Naruto breaks out himself and Yukie, and they run into Kakashi.
Well, because he was faking being passed out, so when the guards came in, he would just headbutt them and take the keys from them.
Right. So they break out, they run into Kakashi, explosions start going off all over the castle, which I guess is the doing of Team 7. Reunited at last, all of Team 7 plan an escape, but they don't do a good job and they run straight into Lord Dodo's throne room.
Well, and Kakashi gives Yukie back the real Hex Crystal.
Which, if they were smart, they wouldn't have brought at all. They would have just...
At all, right.
They would have left it back in the Land of Fire.
Or just, buried it in the snow somewhere that only you knew.
Yeah, or just destroy it. Yukie then hands over the Hex Crystal to Lord Dodo, but it's a ruse. She was just trying to get close enough to shank him in the gut, which she does.
I loved this scene. I loved the scene because it was the back and forth. So she says, first she turns to Team 7 and says, remember, I'm an actress. And then she runs over to hang out with Dodo and making everyone think, oh, she double-crossed the good guys. She's actually going to be a bad guy. And then, not 2 seconds later, she says, but don't forget, I'm an actress. And then turns on Dodo and tries to attack him.
Right, acting jutsu.
Right, acting jutsu. So how many times can she say that before people stop trusting her?
So the stabbing doesn't work, though. It just kind of pisses Lord Dodo off. He grabs her by the throat, chokes her out, causing her to faint for the 4th time in the movie.
I love how inconsequential the scene is, because so she tries to stab him and it doesn't work. So he starts choking her, and she and Naruto are having this dramatic back and forth about how she's going to sacrifice her life to save everybody and whatever. And Naruto's like, you're just giving up in a different way. So then she kind of walks him back and pushes him off of the throne area, and they fall a decent distance. And you're led to believe that she made some huge sacrifice. But if you wait 2 minutes, none of that mattered.
Right. She's fine. He's fine.
Everyone stands up and everyone's back doing what they were doing.
Oh, did I get choked? Nah, I'm cool. Oh, did I get stabbed? Nah, it's fine.
Exactly.
So Lord Dodo tears off his robe, revealing that he's wearing one of those, snow shinobi battle suits also, which unfolds into giant wings, which he uses to shoot out of the roof of the castle, carrying Yukie on his back, flying her away. Again, only Naruto's able to react in time.
Right.
Grabbing onto a rope inexplicably tied to Lord Dodo.
No, he threw it and it wrapped around Yukie's arm.
Great. So, but he's not able to hold on in the end. And
sorry. Dodo swoops back around and cuts the rope.
Okay.
Sorry, I took really detailed notes.
Naruto plummets onto the ground, but he decides he's not going to give up. He's keep walking
He also decides he's not going to die. He fell from the sky and had no magic chakra to save himself.
Right. We should mention all this time he never has removed the chakra-absorbing device. So he's just a normal guy right now.
Right. He fell to his death. He was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet in the air above the tallest trees, and he fell through the trees. And when we see him walking away from the impact, there's a bunch of downed trees behind him, and you're really led to believe that he hit these trees so hard that they fell over.
Yeah, he's just got to brush off. He's got some scratches on his orange jumpsuit. That's all.
Right.
He is going to try to walk over to the Rainbow Glacier where he figures they're going when he runs into the film crew, who are on some kind of motorized moving platform, and they say they'll give him a ride.
Convenient.
What were they doing there in the woods?
I don't know.
Were they trying to get, like, footage of the castle exploding?
B-roll.
Anyway, so this is where we start our big set-piece fight. Sakura and Sasuke are fighting against the fat and girl land of Snow Shinobi, and Kakashi is fighting against their leader. This is an okay fight scene, except that, like... So Team 7 wins, obviously. It's the end of the movie. These Snow Shinobi were so much stronger in the other scene.
Right.
They go down like little bitches in this one.
Like, so easy.
Like, Sasuke and Sakura defeat one of them by accident.
Right,
And then Sasuke's like, what happened? And Sakura's like, I'm not really sure. I guess we beat him?
They go down so easy. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about it other than the fact that in the first fight, they were clearly overpowered and bested when they were outnumbering the enemies, and now they're not outnumbering them, and they're able to take them out in, like, what is essentially one move.
I guess maybe the other fight was in the morning, and this fight is at night. Maybe they're not night people, It's not used to fighting at night.
I guess so. But it's also true with Kakashi and fighting, like, their little mini leader of the small band. And he just kind of, what does he do? He knocks him over and then just kind of grabs him and throws him into the ground, and then he's dead. Right.
So, I mean, the fight scenes were fast-paced and well-animated, but they were really short, and they had not a lot of payoff.
Yeah. You didn't feel like there was a struggle.
Yeah, like we said, one of the bad guys was beaten purely by accident.
So. By accident. They, like, one guy landed on the other guy and they blew up or something. I don't even really understand it. So
Lord Dodo has taken Yukie to the Rainbow Glacier, but he isn't able to find any treasure there. Just a kind of ice-melting device which is meant to bring spring to the land of snow. Apparently that was the treasure which Yukie's father had always spoken about, not some kind of literal gold and gems treasure, but a more figurative, beautiful, springtime, happy ending treasure.
Also not really quite a literal spring.
Naruto arrives to fight Lord Dodo, but he still isn't able to use his chakra. So he gets his ass kicked for a little bit, when Sasuke shows up alone for some reason.
Yep.
To use the Chidori, right?
Well, he had something red in his hand. I think we're supposed to be led to believe that something about the suit running into another suit, like the chakra canceling effect, causes something to deactivate or break or something. So he took a chunk of the suit with him.
Okay, so it's kind of like I'm bouncing off your chakra reflector with my chakra reflector, and they both break.
Yeah, and then he tried to hit him with a Chidori, and I mean, he successfully tried, but it was still deflected.
Right, and I feel like this whole exchange was just to throw a bone to Sasuke fans. Like, see, he helped defeat the end boss too.
Right, so he gets smacked by Dodo and hits an ice wall, and then he's down, and he's like, Naruto, this is all you, and then he passes out, which I'm not going to say Sasuke is weak, but Naruto, again, fell from the sky with no chakra and walked away. And Sasuke got hit once this entire movie.
Right, and you're, between Sasuke and Naruto, you tend to be on Team Sasuke, don't you?
I think that the only reason Naruto ever wins a fight against Sasuke is because the show is called Naruto.
Right.
There's no reason Sasuke should ever lose to Naruto.
So the movie's called Naruto, and so Sasuke's a weakling.
Exactly.
Naruto awakens the chakra of the Nine-Tails Fox within him, which allows him to destroy the chakra-absorbing device, and lets him to fight above his full strength. He summons a bunch of shadow clones, continues his fight with Lord Dodo, restores faith to Princess Yukie, and attacks using his patented Rasengan, which catches the light from Yukie's father's ice-melting device, forming a kind of rainbow chakra Rasengan. which he uses to kill Lord Dodo.
This is obviously a callback to the rainbow chakra that Yukie uses in her movies to kind of be like the hope that she inspired in her allies in the movie is the hope that he's inspiring onto her.
Yeah, it's also on the cover art of the movie, so it's, they had to work it in there somehow.
Right. There's a lot of themes in this movie that they really try to push down your throat. I feel like almost too many. There's the rainbow, there's the never give up versus give up. There's the crying and not being able to cry. There's a lot of those kinds of things that they try to carry with you, and I think it's too much. I think that it burdens the movie.
Just as Lord Dodo falls, the device activates, which brings a beautiful spring to the land of snow. Somehow, under the hundreds of years of ice and snow, there's green grass and flowers.
And when all the snow melts, there's no water.
Yukie reflects on the words of her father and is finally able to cry tears of joy.
Well, the device that is activated is it's also some kind of weird playback recording device. When she was asked to talk into the mirror, she was being recorded in some way, like a hologram of her was being recorded. And then when the device was activated, a hologram of her appeared giant over the whole area, and she recited what she said back then, which kind of reminded her of her honor and truth and wanting to be a princess. And then there's a funny little joke where she says that she also wants to be an actress, and it's funny because she became an actress.
Yeah, everything kind of worked out in the end.
Yeah.
Naruto's lying in the grass, and he's pleased that he was able to give her a happy ending, and the credits roll.
Right.
In some after-credits scene, we see Yukie is coronated as the queen of the land of snow.
Little known fact that Naruto pioneered the after-credits scene long before Marvel.
Right. Queen Yukie informs Team 7 that even though she's now the leader of the land of snow, she hasn't given up on acting, and she shows them her new script, which is for a film adaptation of Jiraiya's Make-Out Tactics book, which excites Kakashi. And that's...
Again, in the English version, he doesn't mention what it is. We just see that she's holding a book that has Japanese written on it, and Kakashi's all excited, and he says, "She's perfect."
Yeah. Sure, that'll be a great movie. If they get a different director than the Princess Gale director, it'll be a lot better. Alright, so that's Naruto the movie, Ninja Clash in the Land of Snow.
Well, in the very end, she gave Naruto a autograph.
Right.
It's important.
Everything's coming full circle.
That's right. That's right. So, James, what do you think?
I don't think there's a really high bar set for these shonen series movies, and it's not like they set out to do something amazing. I think they definitely achieved exactly what they were going for, right? They weren't trying to make, the Schindler's List of anime movies. They were just trying to make a 90-minute Naruto joint.
Right, and it kind of had that vibe where it was a condensed Naruto arc, just in a movie that had no consequence on the show whatsoever. I mean, I wouldn't in any way consider this a good movie. I think it's great if you just want to have a standalone or introduce somebody to Naruto, but not make them have to sit through hours and hours and hours of the show before they can decide if they like it. I mean, it's the anime equivalent of a popcorn movie.
The most controversial thing that happened was when the people got mowed down by that shuriken launcher.
So,
right.
It's I think this is the anime version of a family film, basically.
Yeah.
Kids, What do you want to go see? Kung Fu Panda or Naruto movie Ninja Clash in the Land of Snow?
Kung Fu Panda.
The animation's really nice, though. It looks great.
Yeah, no, I gotta say, they did pull out all the stops with the animation. Everything was very smooth and everything. It didn't look like they were cutting any corners with the animation. They are, the show is known for.
Right, but again, that's par for the course for these big-budget shonen series movies. The animation usually is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have spent a little more money in the writing department.
Right.
Yeah, if I was going to give it a letter grade, I'd probably give it a B-. That seems
yeah, I was leaning B-, C+, around that area.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it, just didn't love it.
But I mean, if you're going to grade it on the Naruto curve, I'd say it's a B+.
Okay, that's nice of you.
You know.
All right, so yeah, thanks again for joining me, Chad.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
We'll be back again in 2 weeks' time, so look out for that. And what do you think, Chad? Since we did Naruto this week, how about next episode we do the first Bleach movie?
That only sounds logical. Let's do it.
We don't want to play favorites here. We did Naruto, now we got to do Bleach, all right?
And we can do One Piece after that, maybe. Get the trifecta.
The first One Piece movie is god-awful. Well, think about it, though.
See it.
So yeah, join us again in 2 weeks for another Anime Film Rewind.